Hello, my friends. As summer approaches, I recently realized that I'm coming out of my 20th year high school reunion. And as a young man with a disability, there were some pitfalls I ran into, that I fell into, that could have been avoided. And I want to dispense my advice to younger advocates. Now, stay tuned for this episode, especially. Hello. My name is Kevin Nunez, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Advocacy Life podcast and blog. This, of course, is the podcast. Disability and death are the only two certainties in life. There is a misconception in our world that disability will not affect everyone, when the fact is it's the opposite. It affects all of us. So let's bridge those gaps together in a fun, conversational style. Thanks for your time, and hope you enjoy the episode. Disability, or you know a young person with a disability between the ages of 18 and 25, this episode is for them. So this one's really special. I was fortunate enough to go to a public high school. It was approximately 2,700 students in this student body. There were approximately 600 kids in my graduation class. So this was a very large school. I was the only person with a disability graduating in my class that attended mainstream courses. There were two of us in wheelchairs. I was the only one that the student body saw the majority of the day, because the other person with a disability who was in the wheelchair like me was in special ed. So I, for a lot of times, was the sole voice of advocates for a school. I didn't realize how important that was at the time. I will say there was one other man that was with me, who was in a wheelchair, but he was a year behind me. So my graduating class, I was the only voice they knew. So big school, it was impossible to know everybody, but everyone knew me. This is the first pitfall I want to tell you about. Is I understand we want to keep to ourselves. It's okay to be shy. But when you have a disability, as prominent as mine was, where it's visible, it does not help you or help me or help them if they don't see you, if they don't know your personality. So my first advice is, as much as you're comfortable, put yourself out there every single moment of every single day. I know that's not fair, that's not right, that's hard enough as it is just saying it. But the only way to break those systemic and stereotypical barriers is to put yourself out there. Now, I understand with YouTube and other social media accounts, you are a little bit more exposed to disability than my generation was, going back to 2006. I get that. But when I mean exposing disability, I mean exposing all of it. Because you can't just show them the bright, funny, glossy side of disability. Usually what people see on Instagram when it comes to high school or disability is some cute girl asking the visibly handicapped student to prom, and it's a big charitable moment, and it's very inspirational porn-ish. Inspirational porn is this term we use in the disability space. It kind of shows that disability is only there to inspire the general public. We're human. We make mistakes. We're gonna mess up, especially in those early years. Because the same thing you see on Instagram of the child with a disability being asked to prom is the same thing we see. Those of us with visible disabilities, we need to do a better job of mentoring the other students that are after us, which is something I didn't do. We need to do a better job of peer mentoring ourselves to build ourselves up, to have those tough skins. People are going to say stuff. People are going to do stuff that are going to be hurtful. Yes, I was laughed at. Yes, I was stared at. I'll give you an example. One time when I was walking to class, I was running late. I was supposed to leave prior to the bell to get the next class. I was allowed to have a 2 to 3 minute head start because the school was so big. And I missed my window, and I was walking a pathway outside, and instead of opening up my mouth and making the other students make room for me, I kept on going to the side to give them room until I ran out of pathway and fell into a bush. This was embarrassing. This was hurtful because only 2 students stopped and got me up, wheelchair and all, off the floor. Now, those 2 students and one girl, because she was my friend, got to know me. So every opportunity that seems like a failure is going to be an opportunity for you to succeed. I made friends because I fell down. No one else stopped, okay? Yeah, they stopped to see the train wreck of Kevin. Oh my god, he fell. But only 2 people actually got me up off the ground. So, is it fair to be the example, to be the train wreck? No, it's not fair. I know that. But every relationship matters. And because of those 2 friends, they encouraged me to then, a few months later, try out for the school talent show. I love stand-up comedy. If you look very, very deep in YouTube, I used to do stand-up performances here on YouTube many moons ago, before I was even 30. So this is way back. I'm almost 40 now. But the entire student body got to know me because of my humorous side. I was the only person that got a standing ovation at a high school talent show full of bands, but none of those bands could play anything. So it was a talent show full of bands that didn't know how to play. But I was the one that got the standing ovation. Because they were able to see me and my personality. And it all started because when I fell down, I was able to use that negative moment to build up something bigger. My next point. Societal barriers. When I turned 18, I needed to apply for SSI or Supplemental Social Security Insurance, SSI. When you go to apply for SSI, no one tells you this. There's a gigantic list of things you're not supposed to do, or you're not allowed to do to keep your Social Security. And as I've said many times, it's never about the check. Ever. It's about keeping your health benefits. The chair I'm sitting in now to do this podcast costs over $55,000. Just to sit here and do a podcast for you. Again, this is not an economy podcast, but it costs what it costs. So in order to do that, I need to apply for SSI. So you go to the SSI office, and the lady who did my intake for SSI, I don't know if she had a bad day or what, but she was very negative and just read off this huge list of don't do this, don't do that, don't leave the country for more than 30 days, don't have more than $2,000 in your bank account, don't have any assets. I had some stocks and bonds saved up for my college, and I was told, oh no, you can't have those to apply for SSI. So I had to find ways to use my stocks and bonds to get SSI. Again, so as I'm 18 and I'm learning all this new stuff, it was very daunting. I left that office extremely defeated. My quote-unquote safety net of stocks and bonds to go to college or do whatever was gonna have to be used up so I could have, at some point, a $55,000 wheelchair. And let me guarantee you, folks, when you use a wheelchair every day of your life, you need one every 5 or 6 years. It's like a car. If you drive a car every single day for 5 or 6 years, it's gonna break down at some point. You're gonna need a car. So the same principle applied. And yes, they were nice stocks and bonds, but they were never enough to buy a year's worth of, let's just say, wheelchairs. I'm not even counting the accessible vehicles or any other expense that would occur with a disability. So I left the office very defeated. My school had a transition coordinator. This is not a sexual or a gender politics thing. In this case, a transition coordinator is specific for helping someone with a disability transition from school to work or post-grad stuff. Now, because I went to the school I went to, which was a public high school, which I'm thankful for every day, most of the students they dealt with were either A, on the spectrum, or B, had some form of Down syndrome. So the postgraduate opportunities they had didn't really fit me. I remember specifically their life skills course where they taught individuals how to cook and how to clean and all that. It was there. I took the class with the special ed students. But it didn't work for me because the kitchen was not accessible. So my life skills was stuffing envelopes. The bulk mailings that you would get in school from the PTA? My job was to stuff those envelopes for your PTA moms. I did that for about an hour and a half a day. Just stuff envelopes. Most of the jobs they had arranged for their folks, my brothers and sisters with Down syndrome and autism, were the stereotypical jobs that you think of with disabilities. They were greeter. They were, ushers at the mall. They were ushers at the movie theater. They worked at Target, baggers, and stuff like that. I remember vividly. I did the application to be the greeter at Walmart, thinking, hey, it's a job, right? At least I'll have something. Now, college is a whole other subject, so I'll probably get into college in a whole other podcast at some point. So I'm not gonna delve into college. I'll get into college a whole other podcast. That's gonna be the next podcast, I promise. But so I had applied for the greeter at Walmart, thinking it's a job, it's steady. Once I get in the door, they'll love me. I remember coming home and telling my dad, Dad, I did this great thing. I filled out the application, yada yada yada, for Walmart. He was so mad. He said to me, you can't risk your future being the kid at Walmart. You're meant to do something better. You're going to go there, work 20, 30 years. You'll be bored out of your mind. You're gonna lose yourself in that office. So, find those allies. My dad, my brother, and my little sister, and my mother were always my best advocates. My dad did not allow me to apply for Walmart. I left the application unfinished. I never got the call or anything to go interview at Walmart. I was upset for weeks. How could he not let me do it? It's a good job. I didn't get it. A few weeks later, I was offered an internship at a mayor's office. And that's when things started to click. Because they saw me. When you, now granted I was an office clerk. When you move to a new town, you hopefully get a packet with, hi, welcome to the town and the neighborhood and all this stuff. I was the one that made all those packets for all the new residences. The mayor hand wrote all the welcome letters. So I would go to the mayor and she'd sign all these, letters welcoming to all the town. The town newsletter did a big feature on me. They really saw me. My parting gift was when it was time for me to go after the 6-month internship. They gave me a piggy bank with a few dollars in it, and they go, I can't wait to watch this grow and to see what else comes of it. After that, I did partners in policy making. Again, my dad saying, you're gonna do this. This is an opportunity for you. Help when people open a door for you. Because my dad basically bulldozed all those doors for me. Be the man and walk through them. Take advantage of every opportunity. Ignore the stereotypes that come your way. So I did the partisan policymaking class. I'll leave a link for that in the show notes. I think there's more than a few. It's across the country. I can't name every state that has a program like it, but it basically is self-advocacy 101. And it basically gave me the foundational skills that I use today. So, yes, stereotypes are real. Yes, you will be afraid. Yes, you will leave offices scared and disappointed. Because when I know disability is not fair. But don't give up. Because every opportunity is an opportunity for you to grow and succeed. Don't give up. Keep on trying. I could never have imagined that stuffing envelopes in a mayor's office would lead me to one day being called by legislators by name to testify in front of Congress or do thousands of other things. So don't give up, friends. Every opportunity is opportunity for growth. I hope this helped you. My email is in the show notes. If anyone has any specific questions, please reach out. All my contact information is in the website. There's a link right there to contact me in every website, every blog, every podcast episode. Just go on the website and find the email. Love you guys. Wow, you guys, what a great episode that was. At least for me. Was it for you? If you liked it, please do me a favor. Click the like, click the subscribe. It takes you 2 seconds, and it really, really helps me out. Second, please share this and tell a friend. If you want more content, I've got a free blog that comes out once a week on Wednesdays starting in January. And you want more content, I published 2 books called Living Beyond Disability. It's a book series on Amazon. Check them out. They're all in the description below. If you want more content, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Thread, all that good stuff. They're all in the description below. I've got a PayPal and a Cashapp if you want to donate directly. No big deal, just if you want to support. Thank you guys for all the help. Keep on rolling, keep on living.